Week 5 of non-stop losses. 7 more US jets shot down. How long can America afford to bleed precious resources in Iran's ruthless skies? US airpower taking a brutal beating. Has Iran transformed the entire Gulf into a massive flying graveyard for American fighter jets? From elite F-15s to heavily armored A-10s. Why is Iran systematically picking off US warplanes one by one in this aerial slaughter? Top pilots missing, over 300 wounded in action. Has Trump's high-stakes Iran gamble spiraled completely off the rails into disaster? Epic fury unleashed or epic strategic bleed out? Why does the US keep losing jet after jet as Iran digs in for the long haul? As the relentless war with Iran drags on into its 5th grueling week without any signs of letting up, the United States has unfortunately suffered significant and deeply concerning air losses that are raising serious questions about the campaign's sustainability. The shocking downing of elite U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagles and rugged A-10 Thunderbolt II ground attack aircraft has now raised the total number of American aircraft losses in this conflict to a staggering 7, marking a troubling escalation. One crew member from the downed F-15E fighter jet remains tragically missing as intense search and rescue operations continue deep inside hostile Iranian territory, facing immense risks from enemy forces. The Pentagon has officially confirmed that the second crew member from that same incident was successfully recovered alive after a daring extraction mission, providing a small glimmer of hope amid the chaos. Senior defense officials privately told lawmakers during closed-door briefings that the missing service member's current status is officially listed as unknown, with no confirmed updates available at this time. The Defense Department admits it does not know the individual's exact whereabouts and is treating them as missing in action until further evidence emerges, according to multiple reliable reports. This latest development comes right as President Trump refused to discuss the specifics of the high-risk rescue operations during a recent interview, telling NBC News he wouldn't reveal operational details. According to the U.S. official, and I quote, 2 U.S. military helicopters involved in the search and rescue effort were struck by Iranian fire, though all service members aboard were safe. Unquote. In just 5 weeks of intense combat operations under the banner of Operation Epic Fury against Iran and its proxy militias, a total of 7 precious U.S. aircraft have now been lost, painting a grim picture of aerial attrition. The latest F-15 and A-10 losses have been added to a rapidly growing and alarming list of destroyed American warplanes that began piling up since the conflict ignited on February 28. On March 2nd, 3 F-15 jets were tragically and mistakenly downed by Kuwaiti air defenses in a deadly friendly fire incident that exposed coordination vulnerabilities in the coalition. All 6 F-15 crew members had ejected safely from their crippled aircraft, and Defense Secretary Hegseth confirmed that the 3 pilots later rejoined subsequent bombing raids without missing a beat. On March 12, 6 dedicated U.S. aircrew members were killed in a devastating crash when a KC-135 Stratotanker went down in Iraq following a mid-flight mechanical incident during refueling ops. On March 26, a critical E-3 Sentry airborne early warning aircraft was completely destroyed on the ground in a precise Iranian missile strike targeting Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. Additionally, a stealthy U.S. F-35 Lightning II fighter jet was forced into an emergency landing after sustaining damage from what officials suspect was sophisticated Iranian anti-aircraft fire. Fresh Pentagon data has revealed that 365 U.S. service members have been wounded in action since February 28, underscoring the heavy human cost of this escalating conflict, as detailed in official reports. The breakdown shows the Army accounting for 257 wounded troops, the Navy with 63, the Air Force reporting 36 casualties, and the Marines with 19, highlighting the multi-branch toll. Among those wounded, approximately 200 were mid to senior enlisted troops bearing the brunt, 85 were commissioned officers leading the charge, and 80 were junior ranks still finding their footing in combat. It remains unclear at this point whether these latest figures include any service members directly involved in Friday's fresh jet downing incidents over Iranian airspace. Meanwhile, the overall death toll now stands at 13 U.S. service members killed in direct combat, a number that continues to climb as the war shows no signs of abating, per the latest reports. This all unfolds as President Trump blasted Iran publicly as a fanatical regime chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years, rallying his base with fiery rhetoric amid the mounting setbacks.
Tonight I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb, and he lived. Just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.